Hello, this is Kevin Curtis, and I will be discussing the endocrine system. I'll be giving a brief overview of the organs within the endocrine system, and I will also be discussing some herbal support for the endocrine system. The endocrine system is involved in the manufacture and distribution of hormones throughout the body for the purpose of coordinating the activity of body tissues in maintaining homeostasis. Hormones are made of amino acids or steroids and are secreted from the endocrine glands directly into the bloodstream at particular times and in exact quantities to act on their target cells or organs. Hormones have many functions throughout the body, and some function in multiple ways. They function by binding to specific receptor sites on the cell surface or inside the target cells, not unlike the way a key fits into and opens a specific lock. The endocrine system works in concert with the nervous system in maintaining homeostasis. The nervous system works to control body activities occurring rapidly or in the short term, while the endocrine system controls slow or long-term changes. The endocrine system is made up of the pineal gland, the pituitary, thyroid and parathyroid, thymus, adrenal glands, pancreas, and in females, the ovaries. Additionally, in females, during pregnancy, the placenta works as an endocrine organ. In males, the only difference to their endocrine glands is the replacement of the ovaries with testes. The pituitary gland is located just below the hypothalamus of the brain. It weighs only half a gram while playing a major role in the control of endocrine function throughout the body, like a master control center for the endocrine system. The pituitary gland is divided into an anterior and posterior lobe. The anterior lobe functions differently from the posterior lobe. It contains different cells which produce growth hormone, prolactin, follicle-stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, thyroid-stimulating hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, and melanocyte-stimulating hormone. The posterior lobe contains oxytocin and antidiuretic hormones, which are produced in the hypothalamus and transported to the pituitary via nerve fibers. The pineal gland is located in the intracranial space surrounded by the brain. It produces melatonin, the concentrations of which fluctuate throughout the day in tune with the circadian rhythm. The time of highest concentration is during the person's normal sleeping hours. The concentration begins to drop off as the person begins to wake. The thyroid gland, located in the neck just below and in front of the larynx. It is the largest of the endocrine glands. The thyroid gland consists of two lobes joined together by a slender isthmus. At the midline of the gland, it forms the butterfly shape of the gland, which you can see right here. Here's the different lobes and the slender isthmus. Thyroid hormone production is controlled by the thyroid-stimulating hormone, which is released by the pituitary gland. The gland is made up of multiple follicles, which produce thyroid hormone, composed of thyroxine, which is T4, and T3, which is then excreted into the bloodstream. The parathyroid is generally made up of 4 small, sometimes 3, pea-sized glands. You can see them here. They're located behind the thyroid. So we're looking at the parathyroid and thyroid from a posterior view. Each gland consists of a fibrous tissue capsule and 2 types of cells, chief cells and oxyphil cells. Chief cells produce parathyroid hormone, which functions to raise the concentration of calcium and reduce the concentration of phosphate ions in the blood. This can be thought of like the locks of a canal, letting the concentration of one substance increase while the concentration of the other drops. Oxyphil cells produce oxytocin and plays a role in the paternal behavior, lactation, and selective social bonding and sexual pleasure. The thymus gland, located under the sternum and in the chest. At birth, the thymus gland weighs 14 grams, and by puberty it enlarges to 30 to 40 grams. Following puberty, the thymus shrivels to a fatty, fibrous remnant weighing about 14 grams. The primary function of the thymus is to act as a lymph organ producing T lymphocytes. This is like a nursery for the T lymphocytes to mature in. The endocrine function of the thymus is to produce a hormone called thymosin, which stimulates T cell production, which is critical in allowing the body, teaching the body to recognize self from non-self. The pancreas, located behind the stomach and framed by the duodenum, which is where we have the head, and the spleen, where we have the tail. The pancreas acts as an endocrine gland, but also has digestive function. The endocrine function of the pancreas is the production of glucagon and insulin, which regulate glucose metabolism and storage. These hormones are produced in specialized cells known as the islets of Langerhans. Inside the islets of Langerhans, alpha cells release glucagon, which elevate blood sugar. This hormone is like having the key to the candy store. Beta cells release insulin, which impacts the metabolism of fats, proteins, and carbohydrates, while maintaining low blood sugar levels. Delta cells release somatostatin, which can inhibit the release of glucagon and insulin, which is like the owner of the candy store taking the keys back. The adrenal glands, located on the top of each kidney, at the back of the abdomen. Each gland is 3 to 5 centimeters long, triangular shaped, and a yellowish-brown color. The adrenal cortex produces glucocorticoids, mineralocorticoids, and sex steroids. Glucocorticoids are produced and released under the control of adrenocorticotropic hormone from the pituitary and influences the metabolism of fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. They promote the breakdown of proteins as well as the release of fats and sugars into the bloodstream, while mineralocorticoids stimulate the release of sodium in the kidneys. Sex steroids contribute to the development of sex characteristics. The adrenal medulla is comprised of altered nerve cells that produce adrenaline and noradrenaline. During emergency situations or intense emotions, these hormones are released and act to increase the strength and rate of heart contraction, while raising blood sugar levels, elevate blood pressure, and increase breathing. This is known as the flight or fight response. All right, so that's going to do it for now. In the next part of this presentation, I'll be discussing the testes, ovaries, the placenta, and giving some information about some herbal support for the endocrine system. Until then.